Alright, video time. Just, people are just you watch these Anaconda videos and these idiots, and even the commenters, some of them, and you're just, man, people are just so full of shit. And, these are atheists, sort of. They don't like the traditional God, but they certainly do like the concept of woo. Some sort of more complex explanation for why we're here. And you can say the word evolution. You say that should be enough of a word. I mean, if I say evolution, and I say we evolved from slime, from a simple cellular organism, that should. The connection should be made. Oh, okay, yeah, we're just a machine designed to survive in an environment. And you survive not yourself, but you survive by laying eggs. To carry your seed, by producing seed. And that's it. So you're just designed to do what's necessary to maintain the existence of the new models, of the you kind of machine. And everything else just fits into that, just slides into one of the slots. Thinking, feeling, desire, it all fits as an evolutionary function. It's nothing, this isn't complicated at all. These fuckers keep making it into something complicated. Alright, well, that's enough said for now. I mean, the universe, you could think of the universe and you say, okay, this machine, this very simple mechanism, and out of the simple mechanism, you can almost say it's a simple mechanism in the sky that creates clouds, and some of the clouds look like elephants or something. It's a simple mechanism, underneath it all, this temperature inversion thing. And, and out of it comes all kinds of like a stream, water going down a hill. Simple mechanism, but you throw a few rocks in the way, and you end up with all kinds of complex patterns of swirls and eddies. Why isn't that enough to say yes, that's what we are? Consciousness is an eddy. It's a swirl. It's a bit of complexity created in the turbulence, of the mixture of things doing something simple but doing it in different places and then banging into each other, kind of a thing, mixing. I mean, just as a simple story, that's enough. There's no need for anything more complicated. Anyway, Trollythloday. So it's another one of these preposterous titles. Alright, so just, to be clear, I mean, he keeps pretending that he's just some innocent person. He's not some sort of jackass troll. But he's a troll. And he makes these bold statements like he's going to do something. He never does it. He's going to prove something or, or nothing. So here, another preposterous title. Bursting inmendham's intellectual bubble. First, I don't even know what does that mean. You're going to prove I'm stupid? I don't think so. On the subject of physics and ethics. So in one video he's going to somehow do both subjects. Do you think he has a chance? I don't think he has a chance. Yeah, he's saying he's done it. He's accomplished the task. I don't think he has. He just posted more of his quote mining. He posts a couple of clips of some physicist who's saying how, well, space-time, well, it probably doesn't really exist, Einstein's thing, and, well, quantum mechanics probably isn't really right, and blah, 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 blah. But this is a guy who thinks multiverses exist. So what the fuck? What's the point of quote mining an asshole who believes in every kind of woo that you could come up with? Fuck. If only he would pay attention to and address the points. I needed a comma there. You don't make a point, idiot. You're about as inarticulate can get, I guess. I keep asking for you to add, raise some direct fucking question or point that I'm supposed to address, and you can never get to it, you fucking retard. So anyway, 11 minutes of shit. Here we go, into the shit. It's like a fantastic voyage into the shit. Yes, it's a machine noise. That's how the boat sounds. The submarine thing. Okay, it's a shitty volume again, so I have to fix the volume first because the fucktard who's gonna accomplish the great task of busting inmendham's intellectual bubble can't seem to manage to play his own videos and compare them to every other video on the internet and realize the audio sucks. You can't figure that out. Maybe you ought to get eyeglasses for your ears, retard.
Inmendham stuff. I didn't get past the first sentence.
Oh, good. So then why don't you just go fuck off, jackass? You make no useful contribution. You just say, "Oh, I have another critique. You answer your fucking questions. There's no point in answering them because you don't address any of the answers given. You don't do anything, you stupid, dull fucking idiot. You're a fucking dull turd."
Inmendham in his reply to me begins, that idiot doesn't know that there's a difference between a feeling thing and a non-feeling thing.
Yeah, asshole. You made a video. You made a fucking video saying categories don't exist, you stupid cunt. Alright, you make this bold statement. Categories have no useful meaning because everything's a plier if I really look at it a certain way. And, if I squint my eyes a certain way and I do that, everything's pliers. No, everything isn't pliers. Everything isn't sphere. Everything isn't not sphere. It was just a bullshit video. A piece of steaming shit.
Feeling things matter. I mean, this question's been posed before. There's no denying.
Well, then why your video? What was the point of your video? You're saying that in the subject of ethics and in the subject of thinking about, reasoning about what the categories are, you were saying they're all arbitrary, that there's no real distinctions, that we can't make a distinction between. That was the point of your video, shithead. That's what you argued. I don't think there's any person who could honestly say they think you were doing something else in those videos, jackass.
Differences. That's what make categories. The fact.
Again, you said there's no differences. You're saying they're arbitrary. Go look up the word arbitrary, you stupid cretin. The fucking word doesn't mean significant and meaningful. No, it means exactly the opposite.
That there are differences and we're categorized by differences. It's a given. What he doesn't understand is that what I'm saying is
I'm just doing that because he did that. That's bullshit. He says that all the time. What I'm saying is. Somehow that's different than when I say, whatever I say. When I say it with whatever. The word's inverted.
People decide what particular differences.
Oh, there we go. People decide. No. That's what's wrong right there. It has nothing to do with people deciding. It has to do with what the evidence is. Everything has evidence surrounding it, a character that's describable, a history, a whole bunch of stuff. And that's what makes it different, is the stuff around it. You don't get to say what it is. You either accurately or inaccurately describe it. If you're inaccurately describing it, obviously that's not correct. It's bad, it's wrong, it's foul, it's error. Okay, that's all there is. There's either an accurate description or an inaccurate description, motherfucker. And it has nothing to do with what people have an entitlement to, shithead. They either get the answer right or they get the answer wrong. They're either smart or they're motherfucking stupid.
Also, people make declarations about what differences count.
Yeah, and they make arguments explaining why the differences count. And they say things like, I'm personally experiencing consciousness. I can't fucking be a better witness. I can't get closer to the fucking scene of the crime. I can smell fucking OJ's sweat. I can taste the blood spraying out of his wife's fucking neck. Okay? I'm that fucking close to this goddamn thing. Alright? I don't need you to tell me anything about what I can see because I'm experiencing it, you stupid shit. I know what fucking consciousness is because I'm fucking conscious, you stupid cunt.
The category of feeling things matter.
Sorry, we ended up going back. It's okay.
I mean, this question's been posed before. You know, there's no denying the differences. That's what makes categories. The fact that there are differences and we're categorized by differences. It's a given.
Well, again, it's not a given if you ignore the point that the reason why it's different is significant. The difference isn't meaningless. The differences aren't irrelevant. The differences, and certainly they're not in some sense arbitrarily recognized. They're recognized as important because we personally experience consciousness. And we know the difference between fun and not fun.
What he doesn't understand is that what I'm saying is...
What I'm saying is...
people decide what particular differences to categorize on. Even more.
Well, again, that's not what somebody's doing in a philosophical conversation. So again, you're either making an argument in defense of a premise. You're making some silly, stupid argument that anything a human being desires is somehow makes it meaningful and useful and important that they get satisfied or something. And I'm making the rational argument, okay, that their satisfaction is important, but the means and methods are infinitely more important.
Also, people make declarations about what differences count, what differences matter.
Right, and those declarations are based on evidence presented at the trial of what is an important feature of the universe. I have argued the important feature in the universe is the existence of feeling things, that their welfare creates a quanta of value. That if they don't exist on some planet, then you can blow the planet up. If they don't exist in some portion of space, then yes, you can dump dioxin there. You can do anything you want. You can molest that piece of space if it doesn't have a consciousness. That the only thing that really matters, all value in some way or another, is always going to be tied to a sentient being's welfare. And that's the only place it can ever be tied to. There's no value outside of that scenario. And I think I've made the reasonable argument that that's the fucking truth. And you certainly haven't made any counter-theoretical argument about how dishwasher in space is somehow meaningful to anybody.
It's people who say that about differences There's nothing intrinsic.
Again, that's the whole argument. So the argument is that it is intrinsic. It's intrinsic to the fundamental function of a sentient brain. It has an arrangement of neurology. There are good arrangements of neurology and bad arrangements of neurology, where the sensations are unpleasant, nasty, repulsive, horrid. And then there's arrangements where the sensation felt is joyful, comfortable, pleasing, pleasant, all of that good stuff. And the argument is fundamental, and I think it's been well argued, and I think the evidence is conclusive. I don't think you have a single piece, a shred of any kind of evidence to indicate that we are misled by our own personal conscious experience, and we don't understand that suffering is actually fun, and fun is actually suffering, or anything like that. You haven't made any argument explaining how our understanding of the huge cavern of distance between suffering and pleasure is somehow not a real cavern. You haven't made any argument whatsoever. All you've done is make your idiotic, inane claims that you have some kind of authority here to know that it's an arbitrary distinction, that somehow we don't have evidence. And the evidence, again, exists in my own fucking sensations that you haven't in any way explained to be incorrect. That I have misidentified suffering as bad and misidentified pleasure or comfort as good. Where have I made a misidentification, you fucking retarded cunt?
In any difference that carries any moral worth.
So again, I mean, we're back to the basic again. There's no making an argument, right? He can't tell the difference. He says there's no evidence in the universe, no reasoning you could apply, no logic that you could explain that in any way demonstrates that there's any kind of difference between the qualitative experience of having, say, surgery without anesthesia, open heart surgery without anesthesia, and a cupcake. Same experience. Same qualitative experience. If you were going to buy an experience for $5, you had $5 to spend on experiences. He's saying, you're just being silly if you think there's any reason why you should do any thinking about it at all. This is just an arbitrary choice. Totally irrational, disconnected from logic. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and have the useless surgery without anesthesia. It's going to be so much. It'll be just as good as a cupcake. Now, you're too fucking stupid. Too fucking stupid.
As argued for by inmendham, at least. He's never explained.
Liar. Just a grotesque lie. Grotesque. Lie. I have done this over and over again. Never explained. What? I've never explained how. Yes, this is testimony. When you have witnesses go to court and they testify to what they witness. So part of this trial is, well, what's consciousness? We can't figure it out. Well, I'm saying I can drag everybody in there. I can put the judge on the stand. I can put the lawyers on the stand. I can put every single person on the stand, and I will validate the fact that they, as a consciousness, do understand there's a cavern of difference between feeling like shit and feeling wonderful. Value difference. One is sometimes worth millions of dollars to avoid the horror of unnecessary cancer or something. If people could eradicate their cancer risk, you don't think they'd pay $1 million for that? Idiot.
I mean, he's just said to on account of Ard, I'm not just declaring this, but that's the point. He is.
So again, it's just a declaration. So again, if you testify to something that you fundamentally have, I have a brain all the neurons, I'm conscious, I'm alive. I'm testifying to you. This is what being alive is to me, okay? I don't have any doubts whatsoever about the fact that having a nail shoved in my eye or having the choice to eat a cupcake are so far apart in terms of choices. There's absolutely no reason I would go for the nail in the eye. And there are absolutely no reasons I wouldn't say, oh yes, the option of eating a cupcake? Yes, I love that option, thank you. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you're asking me to prove I'm a consciousness, to prove that I've had the experience of consciousness. Well, how do I do that without making you feel it? Again, I've made the point to you, if I create an artificial intelligence, it can't know what feelings are by just knowing what somehow somebody told him what a feeling was. He'd have to have one. He'd have to taste sensation to know what sensation is. Now, maybe you aren't sentient. It's possible, I suppose. But I'm just saying, I think there isn't anybody on the face of this fucking earth that I could put in that witness chair who isn't going to basically testify that, yeah, they'd pay a whole lot of money to avoid pain and suffering.
He is. He said he is in his interview. He said, yes, I see these feelings in me, and I see feelings in others. So what? Yeah, there are feelings in you, there's feelings in others. But from that point, he declares the mattering of that difference. The difference that occurs in him and the differences that occur in other people.
And what do I declare? I declare that the fundamental sensation of positive or negative, not what makes you feel good, not what makes you feel bad, just the fact that you feel good or you feel bad is of value, and that it's always preferable that any sentient being feel good rather than bad.
He elevates to universal importance. He does. He says it.
No, what I say is you don't have a single rational argument to explain what possibly else in this universe. Go through every other item in the universe. You could drag an oak tree into the courtroom. Well, what does an oak tree do? Does it feel? No, it doesn't have a brain. It has no sensation, no neurons. There's no way it could be creating a conscious theater. You could just bring every single cloud. Let's bring a cloud in there. Is a cloud doing anything significant? Let's bring a whole planet, Mars, Saturn. Let's bring Saturn into the courtroom and everybody examine Saturn. Is there anything about Saturn at all you could just possibly give a damn? I mean, rationally, is there anything to worry about here? Can any kind of value statement be made that has something to do with ethical things? No. But one fly, by comparison, close up, zoom in right to its little eyeballs and its little face going blah 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 blah. Brain. The brain matters. Big giant Saturn? Yeah, so what? Fly brain? Yeah, there's something happening there.
He says there's a universal...
He says. He does that all the time too.
Truth here. But there's no universal truth.
Right, so there's no universal truth. There is somehow some other truth. There's some other important thing for us to be doing in the universe. See, the universe is out there, and, there's all kinds of important stuff for us to do because there's a bunch of matter in need of our attention somehow. Now, you know that if there were extraterrestrial life in the universe, even if there were just frogs and I don't know, leprechauns and just all kinds of just silly stuff on different planets, that you'd have a more of an agenda. If you found out that, oh, there's a big solar flare that's going to burn all the frogs on Froglia, you know, there would be an agenda to say, well, maybe we should do something, because, you know, it's not nice to have that, you know, these little sentient beings harmed. You know, and I think certainly if there was little, you know, Kittonia somewhere, little kids on it, or little kittens or something, yeah, a little kitten planet. Yeah, I think everybody's going to find out that, oh yeah, wow, we got to make sure that they don't have shit happen. No meteors hit them.
With the proviso that perhaps he might want to admit that he has elevated a purpose. He has decided that there's a purpose to life.
No. I've explained why there's value. As soon as you create value, there's intrinsic purpose. The purpose is to have an equation come up with the right answer. That's what ethics is, you retard. Okay? It's a value equation. I've used the word value equation 7 million times. So you're saying that because I've established that I think value exists in the welfare of sentient beings, that somehow I'm saying there's a purpose to life. No, there's no purpose to life. I'm saying that anything existing in association in this value game has to understand the game has value. They're playing a value game. And it matters how much guts are on the wall, so to speak. And so they have to play the game by the value rules. They have to do the math. That's the purpose. The purpose is live your life and come up with a positive product, a footprint, okay? Green footprint, a blood footprint, a harm footprint. Yeah, that is justifiable. That's the purpose, shithead. And I've said this over and over again. You're a fucking liar, to paraphrase me this inaccurately.
And in respects of that purpose, this is an important thing, and that may well be true.
Well, again, it's a consequence. The two, if value exists, there's no way to say rationally, in my opinion, to have any honor or pay any respect to vocabulary, to say value exists and but purpose doesn't. As soon as you establish the existence of value, you've established the existence of purpose.
I would only cry foul again and say, who are you to elevate that purpose? It's an arbitrary purpose. That's
so again, there's no point in arguing, right? I mean, I've said this right from the beginning. I have no help for you, retard. No help whatsoever. This isn't pausing. This fucking piece of shit video won't pause. I don't know. You lie some more. Lie some more, liar. You fucking liar.
I made about nothing actually moving.
You fucking liar.
No structure moves. And he was bluff and dismissed it, but in a most recent video, he describes it again. This very feature that nothing actually moves.
That's not what I said.
In terms of trajectories, he talks about the properties, the polarization moving and being exchanged, and that might be possible, but it's
maybe
still gives rise to a physical impossibility of the movement of structure. It gives rise. Inmendham, in his reply to me, begins, "Ha! That idiot doesn't know that there's a difference between a feeling thing and a non-feeling thing."
This is just not going to work, is it? I mean, I wish you wouldn't mix the two subjects, you stupid bag of shit. So anyway, well, I guess we're done. Yeah, the category, the feeling things matter. Yeah, and you keep denying it, and then you keep saying you agree with it. Liar, 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 liar.
Nothing actually moves.
Liar.
It's kind of in terms of trajectories.
I don't
And
know
he talks
why.
about
You know, why would he mix
properties,
these two
the
subjects? Retard.
polarization moving and being exchanged.
So anyway, yeah. So he wants the detailed answer. Okay. Now I mean, again, Einstein gave no. He describes nothing about this mechanism of bent space. He doesn't explain any structure or any way that it bends it or any way it happens or any way any of it happens in this invisible fake dimension. And this asshole though is saying, okay, look, I'm saying, okay, well, okay, I'll give you the superstructure. But I'm just trying to explain that it's happening in a three-dimensional universe. Right? So it's a little bit complicated. And you know, if you don't want to pay attention, then fine. I mean, I sort of made the argument that it's all these, you know, that there's a nuclear bomb of energy around me right now, just as big as a nuclear bomb. That a nuclear bomb isn't really making energy. It's just releasing polarization. It's just releasing the same amount of energy, except it's all polarized now. And it's the polarization that disrupts the electrons. So I'm just trying to make the argument that the stream is always going. It's like a stream going around in a circle. Well, I did this already. You know, there's really no point, right? So I'm just saying you can have all these lines, and this would make a circle here. You know, if I just kept going with these lines, you can sort of get the idea that all these straight lines could equal a circle. All these trajectories. And so that's happening all the time in an electron. There's streams of these gravitons that are going through. And what's happening when they go into this electron is they go in with one kind of polarization and they leave with another kind of polarization. So that's what it's doing. It's collecting polarization. Fuck. So in a sense, the things themselves are not moving because they're constantly interacting and constantly leaving. So each individual item never stays. It's like a photon traveling through space. It could be interacting with gravitons all the time, theoretically. So the photon that left, the piece, isn't the same piece that arrives at the other end. The thing that arrives at the other end is the polarization and the frequency, not the piece. Shithead. But anyway, I'll make a separate video, physics video for this. But you know, but I'm not gonna. You know, there's limited potential for future interaction with this cunt. I'm just so he's just an obnoxious troll. He has nothing of value to contribute. He's just a useless, naysaying, fat, stupid dullard who can't, you know, he has to hear something 17 times and then he'll still not accurately quote you. You say it to him 17 fucking times. You say the word value equation 17,000 times maybe. And this dumb motherfucker will pretend you never said it. So, not acceptable. So I'm just going to, look, there's just going to be out videos in the future. I'm just not going to bother responding to these assholes. It's useless. And, you know, I really ought to just get on with my agenda. Which is, I'm going to, you know, I really have to start working on it. Yeah, I'm just going to do it from start to finish. I'm just going to, but through questions. I mean, there's just simple questions, right? You either believe in God or you don't believe in God, right? So that's a simple question. And that's it. You just keep going through all these questions. You get to evolution, and you explain, well, you do understand, you know, evolution's a billions of year process, incremental changes, tiny little changes to organisms over time, and basically it's just to gain tools to function in environments, to exploit an opportunity to fertilize and lay eggs. Is there something else going on? No. So what we have are tools, like a battleship. Okay, it has its guns, and it has its radar, and it has different tools for the job. You know, buoyancy tanks, land mines, ocean mines, whatever you call it, the launchable ones, the submarine blowy-uppy things, whatever they're called. Depth charges. So yeah, so it has these different things, and that's all we got. Same thing. We got smelly fart. Okay, yeah, it's not a very useful weapon, but it could be used as a weapon theoretically. So yeah, mostly we have these sense organs because we are a defensive creature. We're sorry to say, but you know, in spite of what the people who think we were carnivores think, no, we're a prey animal, and we have the tools of a prey animal. But anyway, no, that even brings up the whole. I mean, everybody is so stupid. I mean, in the comments, these assholes keep saying some stupid shit, and you're just like, oh, why don't you people all go choke on something? So irritating. Alright. If trouble may be coming, it wouldn't make sense to sleep. If I am asleep when the bear comes, I am bear food. But the whole point is the bear isn't very effective either without the light. Okay, the carnivores are also designed to be more functional in the daylight. So, there's an efficiency argument. You could just argue, you could understand the origin of this. Clearly it exists. So, I mean, it's stupid for you people to argue as somehow it doesn't make sense, because obviously it did make sense, because that's why it exists, you stupid shits. But there's also like an economy equation, right? Even if you're collecting food at night, you can't see the raspberries anymore, you can't see this, you can't see that, you're going to eat rotten shit. Alright, and you'd have to be able to justify being awake, which is using energy, using your muscles, doing all this kind of stuff, walking, moving, running, using your senses, doing all this stuff. You're using energy to do all that crap. So you'd have to be able to gain more food to justify it. And at night, it's going to be pretty fucking hard for you to gather food, isn't it? Without maybe stepping on a fucking cobra or something, right? So right there is explanation enough. You're not going to be effective in gathering enough food to justify the energy you'll waste by staying awake, scared to fucking death. And again, I don't want to have to remake these arguments, but standing still is a great defense because you're less likely to interact with something if you're in one place. You're less likely to intersect other lines. It's just a probability equation. So one place is a good place to be at night. And most animals find a good place, like orangutans stay in the trees at night. You know, gorillas make a nice little nest for themselves and group together. So yeah, you have a strategy that makes it where you can protect each other. Yeah. But it makes sense. I mean, lions are a little different because, you know, they mostly sleep after eating. So, you know, they eat a big fat giant meal, and then there's no point in them walking around with a big fat belly full of beef. Right? They're full of hard to digest, heavy proteins and fat. So the last thing they want to be doing is walking around. So what they want to do is just go to sleep. So it also aids digestion. But I think the primary point of sleep is that there was a huge difference between day and night. And not too many animals are going to be good at both of them. So fuck you. Stupid assholes. Shit. I just hate these jerks. Fucking nitpicky, naysay bullshit.